everybody. I'm going to read a story to you today, and it's called A Piglet Named Mercy. And it's written by Kate DiCamillo, and she actually wrote a chapter book series about Mercy before she wrote this book. In the chapter book series, Mercy is already grown up. He can drive a car and everything. But this is about when he was a piglet. Some of you will probably by the end of first grade be able to read the chapter books. Mercy is a pretty silly pig, which you will soon see. All right, A Piglet Named Mercy. There he is right there. There's our piglet. For some reason, Mrs. Kessler likes pig books. I don't know. Oh, look. There's a title page. A Piglet Named Mercy. And Mercy's sleeping. Mr. Watson and Mrs. Watson lived in a house on Deckawoo Drive. Deckawoo Drive was an ordinary street in an ordinary town. See, there they are right there. And Mr. and Mrs. Watson were ordinary people who did ordinary things in ordinary ways. See, he's clipping his hedges. She's vacuuming. He's washing his car. Those are pretty ordinary things. One day, Mrs. Watson said to Mr. Watson, "I wonder if we aren't just the tiniest too predictable." "Predictable? Us?" said Mr. Watson. "Surely not." Do you know what predictable means? Predictable means you do the same things over and over all the time. Mrs. Kessler calls that routine in the classroom. "It's just that sometimes I wish something different would happen," said Mrs. Watson. "Things are just fine as they are," said Mr. Watson. Uh-oh. But then something different did happen. Oh, no. This says, "Caution, pigs. Molson's Pig Transport." Look at all those pigs in there. But somebody just fell out. Ooh, and it's nighttime. Someone very small and not at all ordinary found her way to the Watsons' house on Deckawoo Drive. There she goes. Mr. Watson made the discovery when he opened the door for the morning paper. "Mrs. Watson," he called, "come see." "Oh, the little dear," said Mrs. Watson. "Oink," said the piglet. "I think she's hungry," said Mr. Watson. What do you think Mercy would want to eat? Toast? Maybe. "Is that a pig?" said Eugenia Lincoln. Eugenia Lincoln lived next door, and she did not approve of surprises or pigs. She looks mean and grumpy. "It is," said Mrs. Watson. "Can you believe our luck?" "Don't be ridiculous," said Eugenia Lincoln. "A pig is not lucky at all." "Do you think perhaps the piglet would like a bottle of warm milk?" said Baby Lincoln. Baby was Eugenia's younger sister, and she was fond of surprises and piglets. Her name is Baby. Her name is Eugenia. Now, which one of those people would you like to come visit your house? Mr. Watson scratched his head. "A bottle of milk? I don't know. This is all so unpredictable." "Leave it to me," said Baby Lincoln. "Oink," said the piglet again. Mrs. Watson picked up the piglet and took her inside. She wrapped her in a blanket. "Have you never seen anyone so darling, she said. Never, said Mr. Watson. Oh, they're going to have a piglet as a pet. Here is the warm milk, said Baby Lincoln. I have it right here. Eugenia said, This is absurd. The piglet did not think it was absurd at all. She drank the entire bottle. And then she burped. You can burp. And oinked. And went looking for more. Oh my goodness, said Mr. Watson. Watch out, said Eugenia. She seems to like toast very much, said Baby. Oh, the darling, darling thing, said Mrs. Watson. Mr. Watson, said Mrs. Watson, perhaps you would like to hold her for a bit? Certainly, said Mr. Watson. He took the piglet in his arms. He rocked her. He hummed. How extraordinary, said Mr. Watson. She is a porcine wonder. Porcine is another word for pig. This piglet is a wish come true, said Mrs. Watson. What a mercy she is, said Baby. There you go, said Mr. Watson. We will call her Mercy. She is not a mercy, said Eugenia. She is a pig. Oink, oink, said the piglet. You cannot name a pig Mercy, shouted Eugenia. I tell you, she's crabby. But they did name her Mercy. She was extremely unpredictable. She was not at all ordinary, and she was very, very loved. Now, if you would like to hear more stories about Mercy the pig, I bet when the library opens again, or maybe you can find it on, I don't know, Amazon or on your Nook or your e-reader, look for Mercy Watson, The Adventures of Mercy Watson. There are, I think, 5 or 6 or 7 Mercy Watson books. And even though you can't read it right now to yourself, I bet your parents would read it to you. All right, we are going to go do our paper now. You can either turn me off or you can do it with me. It's all about contractions, and it's going to take us about 1 minute. Because you guys are fast. All right. I am equals the contraction I'm. You are, we can shorten you are to the contraction your. We are is the contraction we're. They are is the contraction they're. Okay, let's look at the first sentence. I am taking a trip. Which contraction matches I am? Remember, it always starts with the first word. Oh, rats. They both start with I. Oh, but it has to end with M. I'm taking a trip. You are coming with me. Remember, it has to start with you. Which one of these starts with you? You're coming with me. They are waiting for us. They are. The contraction has to start with they. There it is. They're waiting for us. We are going to the mountains. We are, we're, or your. It must be we're. All right, guys, that's it for reading today. See you in a minute to do some math. Toodaloo!